Hey folks, this is Best in Slot with an always on time Prehistoric Kingdom devlog for May 2020, devlog number 29. I will admit I was going to hold back just because there's no new dinosaur species profiles this month, but I had so many comments from you folks at home, people asking me to do this coverage, that I decided should bloody well do the coverage. I promise to try to speed up. I say this every single month and I never do it. And I don't really know why, but I promise to try to get these more on time going forward. There is actually some really exciting stuff this month, even if it's not necessarily dinosaur related though, so let's get started. If you hear some banging, there's 20 billion construction workers outside my window, and I'm sorry. Let's get started. So, the first change is on how the maps work. Now currently, the Prehistoric Kingdom maps probably look something like this, wiggly woggly wiggly woggly. And the playable area, however, would be something like this. So you'd have an island in the middle, and then you'd have the water around the outside. And you could go in and get rid of that water and expand your playable area, but they'd be surrounded by the ocean. They've decided to not do that, and what they've done is basically make each island more like an area in a larger island, kind of like what Planet Zoo does. So you've got this big square, like so. It's a square, and then around that you'll have mountains, and this whole area here would be the area I showed you a second ago. That's 4 million meters squared, and basically the entire thing will be playable and buildable on right from the get-go. You know, you don't have to terraform and screw around. You can use this whole area right from the start, which is really cool. The one thing I'm curious about, because they've said this applies to all islands, is how is that going to work with coastal islands? Because assumedly some islands are going to have beaches and water because they're coastal. That would make a lot more sense. It would be a bit weird to have a desert surrounded by the mountains. I suspect it might be something like, let's say that's the edge of the water there, this is the wet bit. And then the playable area, this is like sand over here, and then maybe the playable area would go to there, and then, you know, down there, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you'd have something a little bit more like that. We'll have to wait and see. This should cut down on dev time though, they're saying, and like I said, it opens up the map even more to players right from the get-go, which sounds like a really good thing to me. We do have a nice little look at them, how they're going to look a little bit different at different times of day, stuff like that. Looks perfectly nice, pleasant, not much I have to say on that. As it says here though, anywhere from 30 to 40% of the old islands were underwater. That's how much was covered up. So giving players access to that right from the start does seem like a really good idea. Now all the maps are going to be square right from the get-go. That's a square, in case you were curious, technically a rectangle as well. All the maps are going to be just big squares, basically, right from the get-go, but as I said, they are open to exploring unique shapes and boundaries down the line for advanced players. Kind of like what Planet Zoo did with the South American map, where it was kind of more like a thin, weirdo thing. It was rubbish, but it was cool at the same time. It was very confusing. Anyways, stuff like that down the line, you know, mixing and matching, but it's good to get a solid base of maps in first. Anyways, don't know why that was first, but the development report follows on shortly after that. There's a few different things here that we're going to see during this video. Water painting has been done, fence system is looking better and better, it's very fancy. Took me so long to get that joke. And the environment assets, this is actually the thing I'm most excited about to show you in this video. There is some incredible environmental work going on here, it just looks so good. But there's some interesting stuff over here as well. Siaka has joined the roster as a technical transitional animation person, no longer doing terrifying eyes on Jurassic World Evolution. Edson has joined as a human character artist. They're going to be working on the guests and stuff like that. We're actually going to get a preview of their work later on in the video. And then there's this little bit down here, which I think is the main reason people were excited about this devlog, and the main reason so many people wanted me to talk about it. So, it says, currently, we're working towards a polished and exciting build that will be showcased in the late summer of 2020. After that, it won't be long before we start making trailers and delivering on an alpha build. Stay tuned, park managers. There's not too much longer to wait. So, build in late summer. That is 1 or 2 months away, something like that, probably 2 or so months away. Now, it doesn't seem like that's going to be a public build. Whether that's something special backers and content creators will have access to, we'll have to see. Of course, if it is, it's something I will showcase as much as humanly possible. But if not, it does sound like after that, the alpha build will, and delivering is the key word, really, will start to go out to people. And it seems like before too long, every one of you who backed Prehistoric Kingdom and has bought the game will have access to it in some way. We'll finally have a full-on public build of what they're actually working on, which would be really, really cool. And I'd be very happy for everyone to get the game in their hands. So, That's very, very exciting. Moving on, water painting. To help get your feet wet, Seth's made significant progress on water painting. It's basically just, on a functional level, it works. Now it needs a little work, it needs to look nicer, stuff like that. I'm going to show you a very quick little video here, and then we're going to move on. Thumbs up for Seth. High five. Right, moving on. We also have a look at the fence system. So this is actually really cool. There's a few different things going on here, but basically you see how we've got the I don't know what to call them other than the sticks. But the sticks are, you know, a certain distance apart from each other. When you add a gate or something like that, you can see how that would mess it up. But they've added like a dynamic system, so gates and, you know, just anything that would, or viewing platforms, anything that you'd put on the fence will now dynamically move the sticks to make it all fit better. I've got a little video to showcase for the fence system as well. And other than that, we actually have more stuff to show. So they've added a new toggle for the fence system, which will allow you to do two different types of placement when you're putting fences on a hill. Now, sloped placement is what you see in most games. You know, it's perfectly nice, but this is actually the one I'm really excited about. Bam! There you go, terraced placement. Doesn't that look great? It's very JPOG actually. Now that I think about it, I think that looks really cool. I think that's, I don't know, especially for steeper hills. I don't know why I'm highlighting that. Especially for steeper hills, that feels much more realistic to me than that. I think you can get away with that on quite a subtle slope, but on a proper one, I think the terrace looks a lot better. So really cool. That's going to be a toggle for all the fences. So whichever one you personally want to use, you'll be able to do just that. After that, we have a little showcase of the modular buildings. Now, we've talked about this in the past, but basically, it's just your ability to build your own buildings using all the assets in the game. They're saying that the system is basically done at this point in time. Now, they need to add loads more things in the game to let you actually build these buildings, but the system that makes those things work together is fully integrated. So now it's just a case of creating the assets that you're going to stick and glue to each other and stretch and blah 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 in order to make your buildings. And in order to showcase this, they've done like a little showcase, so we can have a little look. A couple of things here. You make a little bridge, which hopefully the dinosaurs use. I think we can make sure they do. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was going to do a T-Rex or something that says now sauropod. There you go. Used by the dinosaurs. Very cool. You see they built like a little hut here in the cliff, in the rock, with all the foliage around. Little river running down there. Closer look at hut, bunker thing, and inside like a dino sleeping area kind of shebang, or a warehouse to store dinosaurs if you're that way inclined. Yeah, there's not much to say about this, but it's just a nice little look at how that system's going to work. There's going to be a lot of stuff. If you wanted to just use the buildings already provided to you, you can absolutely do that. But if you want to go in and place the sticks and, you know, make this building and craft these buildings, then you have that option. So it's nice to have that balance. You know, if you want to get really creative with it, you can. If you want to be lazy, that's totally cool as well. I appreciate that. Now for the big one, the environment. In addition to designing our new level, Nathan's been planting the seeds for our improved foliage assets. That was English, I promise. Home to a number of animals, the tropical biome is a vibrant and lush environment decorated with kapoks, love me a kapok, palms and banana trees. Thriving in a humid environment, these plants make any park typo. Make any park feel more alive due to their diverse heights and colourful nature. Funny that they mentioned colourful nature and everything here is green, but they do. So what we're going to see now is a few screenshots of the tropical biome in action. So this is, if you put all the trees in, you got the lighting going beautifully. This is what your park in a few months' time could in theory look like. Well, however many months. Pachow! I don't know what else to say other than pachow. Pachow! Look at it, it's amazing. It's actually gorgeous. It looks like the Isle, Path of Titans, blah blah blah. It looks like an open world exploration game. It doesn't look like a park builder. Park builders don't tend to look this level of detail, if that makes sense, when you get up close, because it's very heavy on the resources. But that looks so good, and the idea that you could have this could be a habitat. You could have fences that you can't see surrounding this area, and have your dinosaurs. I'll draw you a dinosaur so you get, there you go, I'm going to do a carnivore. Oh my god, what is that? You could have your your dinosaur wandering around here. you know, and then there's a feeder off in the corner that you can't see, and there's people like in towers watching over, but it just looks so natural. And giving us massive maps like we do have is going to make these sort of more natural exhibits so much more easy to obtain. I just think that looks so good. Makes me very happy. One more. I wasn't sure if this was tropical or coastal, because it's clearly sandy and probably by the coast, but it looks tropical to me, so I stuck it in the tropical, because we do have another biome here. We have the coastal biome, commonly found across the Pacific Northwest. The coastal biome is compatible with most dinosaurs in the game due to its expansive and temperate nature. From towering redwood trees to tiny ferns, these plants can be used to create all sorts of microclimates. Yeah, so this would be your redwood, the classic, the Lost World Jurassic Park, Isla Sorna style forest. And as much as I love the tropical, it's this set of screenshots right here that just makes me very erotically happy. So I mean, look at it. It's so good. It's so good. I just want my like the idea that this could be a habitat, that we can have this kind of control and creative power in a dinosaur game, is literally never been done before. Literally. It could honestly be any open world dinosaur survival game, except we get to like zoom out and then stick our dinosaurs in there. That's so much better. Oh, I'm just excited. I love redwoods. I think most fans, like dinosaur fans in general, we all have a thing for redwoods. It's kind of like the Hunter Primal. The best part about it was wandering through the redwood trees. Now we can do that. All we need is an FPS mode. A bit more there. Lovely stuff. Lovely. Just yeah. Why not just all the screenshots? There you go. Alright, I think that's that for environment. Unfortunately, we do have to move on. We're going to talk about structures. So all maps are going to feature a visitor entrance. So basically a magical tunnel to Narnia or whatever, and that's how your park visitors get in, and that's how your park visitors leave. So it's not monorails or helicopters or anything like that. It's a magical tunnel. Now, you can move this, you can change the style and stuff like that. We're going to look at the styling in a little bit, as in right now. So, here we go. So this is a modular building. Now, it does mention in the text for this that they're going to consider adding more styles to the feature to kind of accommodate for more park styles, basically. This is obviously a very modern one, so maybe down the line we'll get something a little bit more rustic, a little bit more rough, but this is still modular. So you can see here, if you imagine this is like the blank shell, this bit here, or this like block here, and then they've stuck, what's it called, crowny, is it? I think so, and the text on there, and like the shelter bit and the benches and stuff like that. And if you got rid of all those, that's what it would look like. So I think that right there is like the basic structure, and then you can, using modular building, add the rest of the stuff around it to increase how interesting it is, and just sort of, you know, put your own personality into your visitor entrance a little bit, which is cool. It's nice to have that, again, creative control, which is seemingly a really big thing. It's just the two tenets of the game, right? It's creative control and cool dinosaurs. And those two need to mesh together really well. We have a few more structures, more looks at the fences. Just some updates so that these can be stretched and move, and the texture doesn't fade, which is similar to what I showed you last, I was going to say week, I was going to say month, but that's barely accurate, like 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, with the mossy rock that they were stretching and moving about. It's kind of the same idea. The texture should retain no matter what you do to the fences. You can do whatever you like to these fences, and they're on board. You get what I'm saying? So this is the 2.5 meter high metal fence, and then we've got another one over here, which is the 4 meter high. This nice little, show you the difference there. I don't really know what to say about that, but you can see how the gate that you put on is kind of adapting to the different size of fence. Really cool. We've got some work here from, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, Edson, I'm so close. Began working on our new visitor assets. This is, you know, very early in the process. The dude is very clearly a bit of a Chad. I'm just putting that out there, given the hair and everything, you know, got those legs out, oof. But so this is the start of what the visitor is going to look like. There's a long way to go in this regard, so hopefully, you know, they've only just joined the team, so this is something we should see more of down the line. And clearly they've gone for sort of a realistic style for these, rather than anything. Shut up. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. I swear, they've been drilling outside my goddamn window for bloody years. Finally, actually the last update, we have a sound update for the Baryonyx. This dinosaur sounds so good. It's got this kind of guttural, throaty growl to it, which is actually kind of terrifying. So I'm going to play that for you right now, and then we'll say goodbye. And that's it, folks. Thank you for reading, or listening to, I guess, May's devlog. So we can have a little look about what's coming next month. They're going to flesh out and finalise the animal locomotion, so that the new creatures, the ones we've been seeing for months now, can be added into the game once everything is ready to go. Audio is going to see extensive in-game implementation, so I'm expecting to see a lot about that. I'd love to hear, maybe just get a clip of like in the midst of a forest with the ambient noise going, stuff like that, to really get that kind of atmosphere so we can see how it's gonna be. Using Fmod, which is a audio implementation tool and creation tool and all that kind of jazz. And more environment artwork, which is the most exciting thing. Of course, there'll surely be more than this as well, but we won't know for, I'd say a month, but it's a couple of weeks, really. So, I promise, next time we'll be much more on the ball. I will try to get you this within a day or two of the release of the devlog. The game is looking really, really good. I know it's taking a while, so people are a little bit, not down on it, but people are a little bit doubtful, maybe, and people are like, can we play the game already? But you got to think, this is not a massive dev team by any stretch, although they have added a couple new people. And these kind of things really do take time. Games take a long time, and PK has gone through various sort of iterations over the years. We can say to an extent, yeah, we saw this 5 years ago or whatever, but that's not really the case. I don't know, I'm optimistic. I think it's going to be a great game. Everything we see just makes it more exciting, and hopefully, I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but hopefully, as a community at least, we'll be able to experience what a more playable and more polished build will look like within just a couple of months. So I will update you on that at least the second it happens. Right, I'm sorry. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers much as always. Bye bye.